Welcome back to Let's Automate It with Robin, AI and automation for non-techies. Today we're going to build out a very simple but incredibly useful RAG agent. If you're just starting with RAG agents, if you're just starting with agents, this is for you. This is very straightforward, but it's going to be incredibly useful as well. In fact, within our agency, this is what we get asked for most by our customers. How do I create an AI agent that's an expert on my material, on my knowledge base, so that my customers or my staff can ask questions of the agent and get the information they need? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to do that. You're going to be able to deploy it onto a website as a chat agent so people can talk to it. But you're also going to be able to swap that out to be able to use a WhatsApp trigger or a Telegram trigger. Now, we're not going to get into WhatsApp and Telegram. We've got videos on that on our channel, but it is exactly the same. We're going to just focus on getting a web chat widget up and going. Follow along. This is going to be powerful. You'll instantly be able to offer this to your customers, to your staff, and as an agency, to customers to develop this for them so they can have this on their website. Let's get started. Let's dive in. Let's get stuck into this. So to make it a little bit easier, I have pulled up a bit of a guiding document here that we can walk through. So let's have a quick look at the requirements that we need in order to execute on this task. So we're going to need n8n to create the workflow. If you don't know how to set up your own n8n, not a problem. We've got you covered. Come over to our channel. Let's automate it. If you go through our videos, somewhere in here, there's a video how to install n8n. The video is 22 minutes long. By the end of that, you'll be able to have your own n8n up and running. But this is n8n that these notes are in right now. We need to be able to access Appify. Appify is a market of scrapers, and we're going to use Appify to scrape a particular website. In fact, in this case, we're going to be building an n8n expert RAG agent. So we're going to scrape the n8n docs to create our knowledge base, and we're going to use Appify for that. Then we're going to need Pinecone vector database. A vector database is the preferred type of database that AIs like to use in order to access information quickly. Pinecone is one of the suppliers of such a database, and we're going to show you how to access and create your own Pinecone vector database to house the knowledge that we're going to scrape from n8n using Appify. Then in our build, we are going to require OpenAI. That is going to be the large language model we're going to use in order to access the data in our Pinecone vector database. And then finally, we're going to need a website. We're going to use the letsautomate.biz website as a place to put our chat widget so we can chat to it. So if you've got all of those in place, don't worry if you haven't. I'm going to walk you through how each of these requirements are set up. But once we've got those, we can dive into the steps. And step number one is using Appify to scrape a website. So let's start right there. I'm going to head over to Appify right now. Here it is. I'm in console.appify.com. If you haven't used Appify before, no problem. Come over to appify.com, create a free account. You get $5 every single month for free, and you can do an awful lot with that. Then you're going to want to come into the store, which is where we are now, and you're going to want to look for website content crawler. This is the one that we want. What is this? This is what they call an actor. This is a scraper that's going to crawl websites and extract text content to feed AI models. It's exactly what we're after. So you're going to click into that. Let it load. Now we can use API to access this Appify actor, and we can access it via n8n. But we're going to use the native Appify interface here, what you see on the screen, because we're creating a knowledge base, which yes, will need updating from time to time. But essentially, once we've built our database, it is relatively static, so we don't need to be accessing it all the time via API. So let's rather just do it kind of once, and then every now and again we can update it by using the Appify interface. So here I am, I'm in input, I'm in manual, start URL. So I want to be accessing this URL, docs.n8n.io. Let's just go have a look at that website quickly. I think I have it ready to go. Yeah, here it is, docs.n8n.io. And in here are all the docs that we need in order to understand and train our AI on exactly how it works. We've got everything we want in here. We've got components, we've got nodes, Now we can drill right through here and drill down as far as we want. So this is the collection of websites, of web pages that we want to scrape. So here in start URLs, you want to put the full URL like that. Now, if you're building a chatbot, for example, for a client, you may want to scrape the client's website, put the client's website address in here. Of course, we can also build this using documentation that maybe comes from a Google Sheet. But for the sake of today's video, we're going to assume that your knowledge base, the material that you want to make your AI an expert on, is going to come from crawling a website somewhere. And in this case, we're going to be crawling n8n. Okay, so let's run through these settings quickly. What crawler settings do we want? I'm going to just go through those that are relevant. This is for non-techies. If I'm not dealing with it, you probably don't need to deal with it either. However, there are tooltips and help documentation here for everything within Appify. So go and read if you need to understand more. Very important here, we have max crawling depth. Here I've set number 4, and what max crawling depth is, if I come back to the n8n documentation, if you look at your URL here, our URL is, this is the main URL, then we have /workflows, that's level 1, /components, that's level 2, /nodes, that's level 3. It is how deep you want to go into a particular website, how many links to follow, how many layers deep into the website you're going. And it does look like n8n, 4 layers deep is going to be enough. I haven't seen anything deeper than 4. So if we come over here, we're just going to crawl to a depth of 4 pages. Now, next pages, I'm going to leave this optional. I'm going to leave it open. Okay, initial concurrency, the scraper is going to run a couple of scrapers at the same time. Now, we don't want to start by running all the scrapers immediately because we don't want our IP to be banned. Some sites don't like you scraping them, so they have measures in place. So we don't want to kind of come out of the blocks with all guns firing. So our initial concurrency, we're going to keep as 0, and we're going to jump up to 5 once things have warmed up. These are optional. You can leave them blank. We're not, cookies is where if we had to log into a website, we're not logging into n8n. The docs are freely available. The proxy here, that is the IP address or the pool of IP addresses from which the scraper will be working. You want to set that to residential, just like I've got here. And number of maximum sessions, I just like to leave these at the default, which is 10. And in fact, here, request timeout, let's double check that. Now, we can leave this at 60 seconds. So those are your settings there. Let's look at HTML processing. I don't muck with anything in here. I leave it all as standard. Output settings here, I want to save to Markdown. This is when we scrape the website, we want to capture the results as Markdown because that's going to work really well in our Pinecone vector database as well as for our AI. And we want to leave max results open as well. And then run options here. We want to run at this level. If you look at my memory here, I've got up to 8 gigabytes available to me. So, I want to make sure this is running at the full 8 gigs just to run this as fast as possible. So this will be the setup, and then you'll hit start. Now, I'm not going to push start. I've actually run this already, and I'm going to go over, have a look at the runs I've got already. So to go through this, push go. But if I come over to the runs, I've already run this. And you can see here it took 27 minutes to run. So for the sake of this video, I ran this ahead of time, following the exact setup you've just seen. We scraped a total of 1,211 help pages. Well done, n8n. You've got substantial documentation. It makes life really easy for us. So you can see a lot of work's gone into that. 1,211 pages. It cost me $5 in order to write that, $5.50 to be exact. So pretty cheap for building an entire knowledge base. But here we have it. This is our run complete. So if we head back over to our n8n, this is the step we have completed already. Use Appify to scrape the website. If you're doing this live with me now, depending on the size of your website, that could take quite a while to scrape. As I say, 1,200 pages with Appify took about half an hour. That is a very large website. If you're scraping a smaller website, it might just take a couple of seconds. The next step now is we need to set up a Pinecone database. We need to take this information that we've got from Appify and we need to inject it into a Pinecone database. So let's go and do that. So we're going to head over to Pinecone. and it is pinecone.io is where you want to go. I've already logged in, and you can create a free setup. So when you create an account with pinecone.io, it is going to ask you a couple of questions. Go through those questions, answer them as best you can, and you're ultimately going to end up here with something like this. And then what we're going to need to do here is create an index. That's basically a database. I'm going to click on Create Data Index. I'm going to create an index called LAI. Let's automate it. And you want to follow these exact same settings I've got here. We want to go with text embeddings 3 small. As you'll see, the dimensions now are 1536. We're going to go with serverless, and we're going to go with AWS, and we can only go with Virginia at a free level. And that's all the settings that you need. We're going to hit Create Index. And here we have, this is our vector database called LAI, ready to go. The next thing we're going to need is an API key. So we're going to click through here into API keys, and we can create a new API key. I'm just going to call this one tutorial as well. Create key. And there it is. It's going to create the key. Now we simply copy that key. Right, let's head back over to Appify. Now that our Pinecone database is ready, we're actually going to use Appify in order to inject the information into the Pinecone database. Appify is really powerful, and we have something called integrations. So if we just jump over into the correct Appify account, I was in the wrong one here, and we go over to integrations. You'll notice I'm still within the actor called Website Content Crawler. I'm going to go over to integrations. Now, I've got an integration already loaded into Pinecone, but we're going to create a brand new one so that you can work along with me and see how it works. So we're going to click over here on Add Integration. We're integrating our Appify account, in particular this content crawler, with Pinecone so it can automatically inject the information that we've just scraped into Pinecone. So let's hit that button, and it brings up a marketplace here. We want the Pinecone integration, so I'm clicking into that. Okay, now we need to configure what we're after here. So we're going to stay in manuals, and I'm going to put in my Appify key here. I'm going to click Edit and pop in my Appify key and click Save. Okay, now I need the index name. If we go back over to here, I can close this. This index I'm working with here is called LAI. If you recall, it's got a database. There it is. This is the index LAI, all lowercase. That's what I've called it, LAI for Let's Automate It. So let's come back into the correct Appify account. There it is. So LAI, that's what it is. Now here we get to choose a namespace. So a namespace is almost like a database within this index called LAI. So I'm going to call this n8n docs. I'm basically kind of compartmentalizing my index into different databases. So I want to create a namespace called n8n docs, and that's where I want to save this information to. Okay. All right. So that's the Pinecone part of it set up of this integration. Let's now look at embeddings. Now, embeddings, this is the nature in which we want to inject the information. We've got to slice and dice this information that's coming from this website content crawler in a particular fashion so that the AI can read it properly. So we're going to use OpenAI to slice and dice this information so that OpenAI is also going to be used to read the information. So it makes sense to ask OpenAI to kind of set up this information in such a way that it will be able to read it. Now, you've got a couple of options here, but go with OpenAI. Okay, and then here, just click this little tooltip and then just copy right there. Just don't include the full stop, the period, but just copy that text here. Text embedding 3 small, because that in text embedding 3 small is how we set up our database. That was the option that we set up when we were configuring it. So it's very important that this is the exact same embeddings model that the database is set up, but we're using the same here with AI. Now you'll notice I just had to make sure I only had one curly bracket on either side, so that's fine. And then over here, now I'm going to need my API key from OpenAI. What we want to do is head over to openai.com, and then you're going to want to log in. If you haven't got an account, you may need to sign up first. But once we've logged in, we want to make sure we're hitting the API platform. Now, this is going to give us some of the docs that we're after, but we're looking into API reference. Let's just click through here onto API keys. And here we'll be presented with a list of API keys that we have at the moment. Let's create a new secret key, and we're just going to call this one tutorial as well. And you can assign it to a project. I'll assign this to the n8n project, and we'll create a secret key here. Okay, we've got our secret key here. Now we can click onto copy, and let's put the key in there and hit save. All right, so now we know we've connected to our Pinecone database. We have connected through to OpenAI, and we've got our text embedding models. I hope you're following along. Pretty straightforward. Dataset settings, we're going to leave this at text. We're going to leave all of this as standard. The data updates, we're going to leave this as standard as well. Text chunking, I've been using 2000 chunks. I'm going to try 1000 for today. And this is just the chunk size. This is the kind of the amount of tokens, let's call them characters, we're going to feed the database in chunks of 1000. 1000 tokens, which is more or less a character. Actually, no, I think it's more or less a word, actually. But 1000 or 2000 works pretty well. And then chunk overlap is how much overlap do we want? So out of 1000, the first chunk will be 1000 characters. The second chunk will be 2000 characters, but the overlap between the first chunk and the second chunk will be 100 tokens, which basically just means there's some context, some overlap between the different chunks so that the AI can better make sense of the data it's looking at. And then let's look at run options. I definitely memory here. I've got 8 gigs available to me, so I'm going to bump that all the way up to that, and I'm going to use the latest build. Okay, so let's hit save. Now with that saved, let's see if we can go and inject this information into Appify, into Pinecone. So we're just going to hit test here, and we're going to test with the last run. Now, if you've been running this live, you would have, in your integration here, you would have run this now. And you would have run this, you would have runs in here. Here's the latest run we've got. So I'm going back to my integration, opening up my integration, and I'm just going to test this by test with last run. And we're now busy testing. Let's see if it's running. It says it's running at the moment. Let's head over to our Pinecone database and see if we can see anything being injected into that database. So we're going to click into this one. And as we can see here, we have 2,000 records being pushed into here. It's going up, 2,228. So we have records coming in from our Appify tool. It is busy running. Let's go have a look at our runs here. And there we can see this has run. It cost a whopping just 9 cents to run, and everything is being pushed into our Pinecone database. It looks good. Let's go back over to our Pinecone database. There we go. We have information inside this. We have a namespace called n8n docs, and we have 3,294 records within our Pinecone database. Looking fantastic. So with that being done, let's head back over here and have a look at where we are in our video. So we have used Appify to scrape the website successfully. We've set up our Pinecone database, and we have successfully used Appify to upload those results into Pinecone. So now it's time to get fun. Now it's time to create a RAG agent flow in n8n. So we're going to go and build this flow together right now. So let me just make a little bit of space on the side here, and let's see if we can zoom out just a little bit, and let's pull some things on. So first of all, let's go and get an AI agent, and we want a chat agent into this. So, whoops, where did that go? Let's go. There it is. Let's just put it here where we can see it, and zoom back in again. All right, here we have our little agent, and just need to set it up with the tools that it needs. But we're going to need to add a chat to this. So let's just see if I've got, we need to add a chat trigger. That's been done. So let's just get rid of this and pop our little chat trigger in here. Now we're going to configure our AI agent. And so let's click into this. It is a tools agent. It is connected to a chat trigger node. There are other options, but we've got a chat trigger node here. And now we want to specify a system message. Now, this system message is pretty important, but let's just see if you can bear with my typing, but let's give it some guidance. You are a n8n expert. helping with questions about n8n. Now you can get, this is really probably the absolute least you can get away with as a system prompt. You probably want to dive deeper into this and give it tone and personality, keep it humorous, etc., etc. You probably want to do those kinds of, that kind of prompt, dive deeper in here. But you get surprisingly good results out of such a simple system prompt. Think of the AI agent as a new employee in your business. You want to give them an overview of what their job description is. You want to tell them you are an n8n expert, and this is what you're going to do, etc., etc. So this system message is not about the particular job. It's about the broad strokes of what their role is within the company. That's what we're telling the AI agent at this point. So that's been done. Okay, let's attach a chat model now. We need an LLM chat model. We're going to use OpenAI. And let's go and grab a credential, and ChatGPT 4.0 Mini is a good balance of affordability. So there is our chat model. Now we want to give it some memory. Memory is so that when the agent speaks, it can remember what went before. So it has context of the conversation. There's lots of different memory you can use. Postgres chat memory is probably the best one, but the simplest one to use is Windows buffer memory. So we'll put that in there. And here, the context window length is how many messages back do you want it to remember. If it's just one, it'll remember the last message, but not the message before that. If it's 5, it's going to remember the last 5 messages, 10, and so forth. We'll leave it at 5 at this point in time. Okay, so it's going to remember up to 5 messages. Okay, now we want the tool. The tool is going to be the knowledge base we've just created. We've created that Pinecone database. So we want this AI agent to call on that Pinecone database. So let's go and add a tool. All right, and we're going to scroll down these tools, and here we have Pinecone Vector Store. So that's the one we want. Okay, you're going to need to set up a credential. Creating a credential for Pinecone couldn't be easier because n8n has a native node for Pinecone. So we're going to want to create a brand new credential. We're going to just click into that. We're going to look for Pinecone. And there we have Pinecone API. We're going to hit continue. Let's rename this just so we can identify who this is for. I'm just going to call this TUT for tutorial. And now we need an API key. Simply head over to Pinecone. So we're going to click through here into API keys, and we can create a new API key. I'm just going to call this one tutorial as well. Create key. And there it is. It's going to create the key. Now we simply copy that key, come back over to n8n, paste the key in here, hit save, and we should get a green bar here if this has successfully been able to connect to our Pinecone API. And now this credential is available to us in our n8n canvas to be able to utilize our Pinecone node and to be able to pull information from our various Pinecone databases. So now we've got that credential set up. Operation mode is going to be retrieve documents as a tool for AI agent. It's already defaulted to that, so that's the one we want. The name of the knowledge base is going to be LAI. The description is important. That should get the job done. Okay, now we want to choose our index, so that's LAI. And limit here, this is the limit. This is the number of top results to fetch from a store. I just leave that at default at this point in time. Okay, now we want to pull from a particular namespace. Remember, we created a namespace called n8n docs. So that's what we want to have. So now we've got our little Pinecone database set up here, but as you can see, it's red. Why is it red? We need an embeddings model. Okay, and the embeddings model is going to be OpenAI, and we are going to use and get our credentials set up, and we want to use again text embedding 3 small. That is the consisting embedding model we use when we set up our Pinecone database. It is the same model we use when we injected data into that Pinecone database using Appify, and again we need to use it here so that the embeddings in terms of the chat and the retrieval of information from this database is all the same. So if you're having issues, it might be that you haven't been consistent with this model. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Nope, that's all going to work for us. So there we go. That's set up and that's happy. Now, one last tip we want to look at here is back in our OpenAI chat model. There is an extra setting we want to get hold of here. We want to go to the sampling temperature here, and we want to drop this down to about 0.3. Now, closer to 1 it is, the more creative, the more prone to perhaps making things up or being more exciting the AI will be. The closer to 0, the less it'll be. I find 0.3 keeps it kind of focused on using the knowledge base it's been given and not straying outside of those bounds of the knowledge base. So we just want to set that sampling temperature to be that. So let's just save this right now and let's have a quick look here. We've used Appify to scrape the website. We've set up a Pinecone database. We've uploaded the data. We've created the RAG agent workflow. That's here, right here. Now it's time to test it. Now, you're probably saying, hey, that was simple enough, but I just want to grip this whole workflow. Give me this template so that I can just use it. No problem. You can go grab this template. Just all you got to do is be a member of our community, our Let's Automated community. Here it is now. We've currently got 172 members and we are growing, but we've got lots going on. And so come and join us in here. We've got a channel about automation debugging to help you with that. We have live calls, tips, wins, tricks. We've got a whole learning center. And if you come into here, we've got a full course on getting started with n8n and the n8n basics. We have community AI automations that you can grab. We've got marketing courses. We've got AI prompts. But if you're looking for a particular workflow, come into this course called AI n8n automation. You can open up this course. And within this course, you're going to find every single automation that we have in our chat, in our YouTube channel, as well as more. We don't just limit it to that. We've got lots in here. And inside every single one of these, you will find, for example, if we go into this one here, you'll find within here the full video to guide you through it, plus the full breakdown of everything that you could need. The tools, the prompts, the lessons. We've got a summary, detail, who's this for, overview, everything you would wanted to know about a particular workflow and how it works, all the resources that you need right there within that community. So if you are after this workflow, definitely jump in our community. You're going to find it right there. Okay, enough about that. Let's test this now. So we are going to go open chat and we're just going to test whether this is working. So let's just start with a simple hello. And there we have it. Hello, how can I assist you with n8n today? So it seems to be live. It recognizes that it's an n8n assistant. Let's ask it something very particular to n8n. Let's talk about a merge node. Can you explain the merge node to me? That's pretty specific. Let's just see. Let's hit this. We can see it's calling the AI chat model there. There we go. It's reaching into its database. It's formulating a response. And here we go. We've got all kinds of information about the merge node, multiple inputs as of version. So this seems pretty specific. We have a working RAG agent. Congratulations, right up to level 4 here. We are sorted out. Everything is working fantastically. Let's just see if we can ask it a question not related to n8n and see what happens. What is the weather like in Cape Town? And let's see what it says. It shouldn't answer us now. It should try and steer us back to a conversation. I'm here to help you with questions related to n8n. Okay, great. This is working. Let's just close out this chat here. And let's now get this working on our website. We have a working chat model. Okay, let's make this active. Okay, we've taken it active. It's now live. Let's click into this. Let me zoom in a little bit more here. Now we're going to click into our chat agent here. And we've got some options here. This is probably what yours is looking like at the moment. So let's start by making this publicly available. Okay, and we've got options here, a hosted chat or an embedded chat. Let's talk about a hosted chat to start with. So if it's hosted chat, that just means that if I copy this URL and I come to, and I put that URL into my browser, it should give me, there we go. This is my interface here. Tell me about the if node. It's thinking, it's doing its job. It's calling on the database. There it is. It is working. So you could take this URL and embed this anywhere you wanted, and you would have a full page chat bot working just like this. Okay, you would have to hit this URL with this webhook extension into it, but this will get the job done. But this is not what we're after. We want to embed this on a particular website. So let's go and continue working on it and get that done. By the way, let's change this. Hi, my name is Bob. Yep. And let's go and save that. And let's just see quickly if this will work. I'm not sure. Let's reload this. There we go. Hi, my name is Bob. So I've just changed the name of my agent. Simple as that in our setting. Okay. All right. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we want to do is get this into a website. Okay. So we want to change from a hosted chat to an embedded chat. Chat through a widget embedded in another page or by calling a webhook. So we're going to turn that on. I recommend... let's see, have we got the ability to turn on cores? Yes, allow cores. So I'm just going to, I'm going to put this on our Let's Automated website. So what this is doing is it means that it's automated.biz. This is the little security section that's going to say only requests, only incoming chats from this domain will be allowed. Others will be rejected. So you can turn this off. You don't need to do this. So this is a little extra security measure that we've added into this. And now it's saying follow the instructions here to embed chat. Now I know this is probably a bit small on your screen, but I'm going to click on this here. And it's taken us over to npmjs.com/package/at n8n/chat. Because what's sitting in here is the documentation we need, the instructions we need to be able to get this to work on our website. Okay. So what we're after here is the CDN embed code. So I'm going to copy this embed code right here. I've copied it. I'm going to head over to my website. I'm in my WordPress website, and I'm just going to put this on the front page. So I'm just going to click into edit here. Not using any page builders on this website. And I'm just going to use the Gutenberg builder here to embed this. So I'm going to scroll right down to the bottom of my homepage, and I'm going to click in here, and I'm just going to add a block, and I want to add in a code node there, custom HTML. That should do the job. And I'm just going to paste this in here. Now, what I'm looking for here is this webhook URL, your production webhook URL. So we need to go and get that and input that in here. So let's go and do that. Head back over to n8n. We need this URL. So click to copy. That's copied now. We're going to come back over to our website, and we're just going to pop that in there. There it is. We're going to save it. All right, let it save, and let's go check it out. Now let's see if we have... we don't have a node showing just yet. There is another step we need to go through. Let's see if it's working, and there is more to this here. So that's the code we've put in. But if we come down a little bit further, we have some options here we need to put in as well, the default options. So I'm going to grab all of this code. So I've copied all of that. Let's come back over to our website, back into our edit page. And here before the closing script tag, I'm just going to push enter. I'm going to paste that in there as well. And if it's looking, you see here, it's asking for webhook URL right here, webhook URL. So between those, I'm going to need that as well. I can actually see why it didn't work. Can you see here, I was missing our little speech mark after that URL. I accidentally deleted it when I was typing it in here. I bet you that was the issue. I didn't see that. But let's continue this anyway and pop this in here. Make sure I haven't skipped anything. We're going to hit save. Give it a moment to save. Just using our standard Gutenberg editor if you're a WordPress person. But if you're not using a WordPress, I'm sure whatever tool you're using is going to have the ability for you to embed some code on it. There we go. There it popped in. There's our little widget. Click into that. And there it is. Hi there. My name is Nathan. How can I assist you today? This is live on our website. So I'm going to go, hi, please give me an overview of n8n. It's busy thinking. It's calling the AI. It's calling the Pinecone database. And there it is. I've got all kinds of information. It's customizable deployment of all great. I've even got a link in here. Let's see if that link works. I'm going to click this link. Look at that. It's taken us to the n8n doc. So it's even smart enough to have put a link in there. So here we have a complete RAG agent you have built now in n8n, and you've deployed it to your website. Let's just have a look at some of the editing we can do here. So if we look at this text in here, I've got, hi there, my name is Nathan. Let's change that. Let's go, hi, my name is Bob. Now, of course, you could change anything else in here in terms of these messages. Let's go save that. And although I think we've started the chat now, so we may not see it, let's just refresh the page and see if it refreshes the chat. It may not. Yep, there it is. Hi, my name is Bob. How can I assist you today? Now, you notice the memory got wiped. That's because we're using Windows buffer memory. Every time we reload the page, it's going to wipe the Windows buffer memory. If you want to have persistent memory in n8n, use a Postgres memory tool. So there you go, guys. You absolutely have it working. Now, I want to go back here, and I do want to highlight that we have built this to work with a web agent, with a web chat agent. But there's no reason why you could not swap this out and put in a WhatsApp agent. So we could add in here a WhatsApp trigger on incoming message. Now, I'm not going to get into that. This video is long enough already, and we do have a great video, but we could hook that up. We do have a great video on embedding a WhatsApp chatbot. We'll follow along here. You'll know how to set up a WhatsApp chatbot. Use the knowledge you gain from that video to be able to connect up your WhatsApp chatbot to here. What else could be used? We could probably have a Telegram node as well. We could put in a trigger here for Telegram, and we could put a Telegram message in here and pop that in as well. Again, we have a fantastic video on Telegram as well. It is part of our 3-part mini course, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might be in part 3, where we actually get Telegram involved and how to connect Telegram up to a chat, and using that skills from that video, you'll be able to build out this RAG agent to either speak via a website, via WhatsApp, via Telegram trigger. In fact, any trigger you can think of. Perhaps it's an email trigger. You can have these set up and working. So I hope that has been useful to you. I'm just going to get these off the screen, and there you go, guys. It is as simple as that. If you did this, it's probably taken you 20-30 minutes in order to kind of get your heads through this. I'm not sure how long this video is going on, but in all honesty, once you're familiar with these tools and set up, you can spin up a new database, a new RAG agent in minutes. The longest part will be actually scraping the website or getting the information that you need into the knowledge base. If you want this, come and grab it in the community. In the video description below is the links to our community. Come and join us there. For a price of a couple of cups of coffee a month, you can join a vibrant community and grab the workflows, grab a host of other workflows. Thank you for spending time with me. As always, I hope you have a fantastic morning, a fantastic afternoon, a fantastic evening, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is. We'll catch you next week on our next video. Until then, stay well.